Hello, my cabbages, and welcome back to another mapping video. Yeah, this is another on the WICSO series, and if you were watching last episode, you know, from the alliances, tensions were pretty high. Not unlike your local homeless person. I hope I don't get demonetized. I'm saying like I am monetized in the first place. But you know, that's crazy. So yeah, we got, you know, high tensions and war gonna be starting. What? Ooh, spoiler. Yeah, no, I think everybody knew that. I think everybody knew that. If you didn't, then what are you doing? But yeah, we got the hexagons and the stars right now. And the gray team, as usual, being very aggressive, decides to start off this war against the light gray team. And they basically just start by taking this little area, and like the gray team's like, wow. They quickly also take this area, and the light green team's like, hey. And then everybody's like, now is like starting to trickle down because, you know, horse travel isn't as fast as everything else. Like, to the brown team and the dark brown team, like, whoa, the war has been started. And eventually to the orange team, and then slowly cross more of the team. So the lightish brown team over here decides to, you know, launch an invasion. Because, you know, that's what they're gonna do. And the rose team over here actually kind of cuts off this area of the gray team. But then the gray team annexes the light gray team. They probably should have worked on enforcing their boundaries instead of trying to enforce their own boundaries, which also makes the boundary with the green team longer and more dangerous for both of them. And the green team starts cutting in because, you know, they're winning at first. Not until the dark brown team is supplying the lighter-ish brown team over here to help them with resources, because they're not in the war yet. But the orangey team over here decides to launch an invasion on this side because, well, you know, they're on the part of the Hexagon Alliance. So yeah, and they weren't completely expecting that to happen yet. They're expecting to be more aggravated for that to happen, but nope, they just go on like Apple Brother and then take that area. So now they kind of have to go back over here to fight off this invasion because, you know, don't want to lose a land, he said, WICSO. And that leaves the light brown nation open to basically, you know, kind of. Wait, what? No, wow. Whoa. Boom, take back because the light brown nation isn't being as supported. But then over here in the yellow team, which is also part of the Hexagon Alliance, which, well, they weren't really planning to do much other than the orange team was kind of threatening them, but the light yellow team kind of saw this as an opportunity and starts to take over parts of this area. Before they were pretty, like, neutral in all of this, but now they're like, the new ruler's like, might as well take land if we can. So that's what they do. They start taking land, and they're like, oh, and also taking this island right here. So, yeah, stars are winning over here, hexagons are winning over here, basically, right now. Then we have the green team. I'm just gonna keep this up. Also another hexagon member, with next to the rose team, and they decide to expand along the trade route because they really just want more trade rights, is really what they're after, because a lot of, like, the star teams were kind of, like, united together, being more of, like, oh, we're kind of small nations, and the hexagon teams basically just want land. The rose team wasn't expecting to be so early, and they're kind of like, oh, this means, threats. So it's like, okay, and they did a minor counteroffensive. But then the yellow team, which only joined this war because they wanted their lands back from the rose team, kinda gets on the other side, and I would say the word, but I don't want to be demonetized, even though I'm not even monetized in the first place. But we all know what we're thinking. Ada's Pro's favorite word, no. So, not looking good for the rose team right now. But in the yellow team, it's don't really border or anything. And you might be like, what about the square team. The square team's not at war right now. They're just not right now. They're just observing. So these hexagon teams are really just sending in troops through the square team because the square team doesn't have any obligation against it right now. They're slightly leaning towards the Star Alliance, but like they don't really care right now. They're kind of just chill guys. But with that, the hexagons kind of being funded, especially the yellow team here, they kind of take over their capital with a like kind of blitz dash over here and allowing the green team to take over the rest of it. So rip Rose team right now. And then we have this new honestly all the other hexagon places are basically winning except this yellow team. The yellow team's actually kind of hooked, and they kind of realize, why are we in this war if we're not fighting we're not even winning, we're literally just getting defeated by this other rebelling nation, and our other adversaries aren't helping us. So they just go like, screw this, and just kind of get out of the war. And actually, instead, because they still want defense, because they realize they're weak, so instead, they actually join, the square team, so yeah, we got the new square team member, which was not thought to be, because this square team is different than the hexagon and star team. The hexagon and star team is like, one member goes to war, they all fight against it. But the square team is just like, if we get attacked, then we will fight. It's a defensive alliance. It isn't a warring alliance. So yeah, the square team's kind of just actually expanding here. And seeing this, the star team's kind of like, okay, well, this team's kind of like, okay, I guess we'll just stay here. So they still won, so they're still pretty happy. But about that, the green team, they're technically still in the war, so they kind of do a thing that they like to call sneak attack, and they weren't expecting to be attacked because they're kind of like, like, don't mortar them, so they think they wouldn't be attacked, and they're like, whoa, 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 whoa. And they're not as strong, especially because the green team is also being aided by the other hexagon teams down in South America. So it's just like, whoa, 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 and they do a little counteroffensive, but it doesn't work. They're like, okay, we surrender. So it's like, yeah, not nice, guys. Really not nice. And they just decide to keep the lands they have because the darker yellow team doesn't have enough negotiating power to get them back. So they actually decide to join the square team because they just want to be in a defensive alliance because, they were kind of in there to, be helped, but now it's not working, so they enter, these two nations that were just fighting each other are now on the same side. Kind of funny, but, so, yeah, the green team kind of ceases there because they're still being good about that one. So, yeah, then we move back over here, where the gray team is defeating the brown team because they're kind of just, distracted by les orange team. So yeah, because that's the wrong color team. Les orange team takes back the land that they had, and actually even more because the orange team is actually winning because a lot of the nations over here, like the green team, have kind of stopped with the war, so they've been just funneling troops through into these teams because they're like, might as well help a brother out. Because even though they're kind of like all on their own, they still want to help a brother out. They're still in the same alliance, and they think if they win, then they'll be successful and more monetary benefits. So yeah, then we got dark brown team here, kind of just going like trying to counteroffensive, but oh my god, that's the wrong color again. Trying to counteroffensive, but they're kind of not doing well. I mean, they're kind of, but And then the gray team completely collapses here, or the brown team. But meanwhile, they kind of unenforced some of these borders, so they kind of get back, and like these teams kind of start winning again here because they're less enforced. But now with the collapse, they refocus some of their troops here, and now it just now they start winning because they have more troops, even though it's like long fronts. They still, got the advantage because, well, because they're the great team. They're the great team, and they're really strong in good military strategy with the rules of adoption. Actually, probably like on their third or fourth leader by now, but got their strong rules of adoption, so they have their best candidate go forward. So yeah, it's not looking the best for them. Meanwhile, the dark brown team, like, they're not even attacking the dark brown team because they know the orange team got it. They know the orange team got it. So yeah, the orange team in fact does got it. So good for them. But the orange team over here just kind of takes more and more land and kind of collapses the dark brown team actually surprisingly quickly. You might be wondering how, and they're kind of wondering that also. Turns out that it was actually because they were fighting an internal war. I'm kind of retrofitting this in, I should have done this better. But basically, these are this new color that's basically the revolutionaries, and they're kind of like, so the Civil War weakened them. So the revolutionaries are still here, but they don't really care about them, because the revolutionaries realize, if we don't join up, then, we're kind of cooked. So the revolutionaries do the actual smart thing right now and decide to, if you can't beat them, join them. So, we got a new member of the Hexagonal Alliance, because, they don't have, because both of those are dead. So yeah, we got the new Hexagonal Alliance. The orange team's kind of like, they can funnel troops over here to help them, but they're like bored. So they decide, why not attack the yellow team? Because they want more of that sweet trade route moolah. And what they didn't even know, like, they should have researched more. They're in the square lines. I thought that wouldn't do much, but news kind of trickles down. It's like, Hexagon attack square alliance. And the dark yellow team here kind of uses that to jump on them, which the green team wasn't really enforcing that because they weren't at war, and they're like, whoa, because it was really more the orange team being greedy, but the square alliance over here is like, gasp. And basically goes on and starts attacking them. And basically what happened here with the green team and the light blue team, they're kind of like told not to unify, but they kind of want to because they're both on the same alliance, so they decide to officially unify at these times of war, which the blue team's not happy about, but they can't really do much. And they're kind of fighting, but even though they didn't want to fight because they didn't have beef with them, another country made them have beef with them. It's like, but then you also see, the green team over here even launches a little invasion because the orange team isn't in the war because they kind of have a bad track record with wars, if you know what I'm saying. You not know what the orange want to know what the orange team does with the war crimes I commit various war crimes. I would be wanted in every country. Chuckles. So yeah, yellow team being invaded, the light blue team being invaded, and also at the front at the same time they're starting a multi-front war against the lavender team, and so is the purple team trying to start the lavender team, and so is the dark red team, and they're kind of like, what? We had beef, and they're kind of like, so the lavender team, kind of recently losing a war, decides this is not worth it. I don't want to be in this war. Well, this country is now absorbed. The light blue team is like, okay, I'll stay, we can do this. But then the white team's like, nah, not really. So they can't. So we have the light blue team and the yellow team still in the war, and kind of failing. So yeah, and they take back this land, and also start to take back these areas. Because, well, the blue team, even though they kind of got rushed before, is kind of doing better. But they use a lot of energy here, and the lavender team kind of, keeps on going here, and it's kind of hard fighting a two-front war. And they even make small advances on the purple team, and the purple team's like, why are we here? They already fought a war with the lavender team. And they're kind of like, And they kind of like, hey, I mean, what if we... Wait, after they just made them leave the war. Why am I making them attack again? Let's just say they attacked the blue team and the purple team to gain back some lands, but then immediately left the war. Such a troll, lavender team you are. But that happening was like, well, I don't know what that was, but they take back some land over here, making a longer front. So yeah. Meanwhile, the cream team is also being the dream team and actually doing surprisingly well, because they're also partially blacked up by the dark blue team and the other teams of the Alliance, but doing even well for what they should be doing. Maybe the yellow team isn't super stable internally right now. But meanwhile, over here, the gray team continues to dominate. It's just the gray team, the unmatched power of the gray team, the engine that keeps on turning. And then the brown and the orange team, kind of over here. The yellow team gets backed up by a bunch of the blue team because this is kind of where the forces happen. They're like, whoa. So they start basically rushing in with also the help of the dark yellow team and the square team, where basically D-Day style, they just Leandro, surprisingly far. Like, it's kind of like America and Vietnam, where they're kind of being humiliated, even though they should be stronger. What internal issues? And this Civil War region, people were discontent with the original civil group because they launched rebellion, but then joined the enemy forces. So they create a second Civil War group, over here. So there's two rebellions happening. The first one was not wanted, and going here, they join this rebellion still coming. This rebellion just decides, screw it, we don't want anyone being isolationists. They joined the Square Alliance. They were thinking of joining the Star Alliance, but it's kind of not going good in the great team over here. But they think that joining the Square Alliance will be better. So they join the Square Alliance and start fighting against the Orange team. And the Orange team kind of seeing how dire this is like, okay, peace. And the Hexagon team over here is like, there's a difference against the original Orange team, and the Gray team. And the main difference is the Orange team is strong, but they're headstrong, going headfirst, leading up what they believe in. But the Gray team is tactical. They know when to retreat when the situation's getting bad, and they realize that this Orange team not going well, and they realize that with the forces of the Square team coming in, they realize they're gonna be cooked. So they basically officially say, we're gonna disband the Hexagon team and surrender. They make the choice for everybody else because they know this will be best. And actually, yeah, it's actually a smart choice, because this hint would have been way worse. So we get the mass disbanding of the Hexagon team, where everybody's kind of forced to get away from it. Even if you were probably be the only ones. So, yeah, and with the aftermath of this war, well, new situations are going to be decided. Okay, welcome back. Vastly different. So, basically, yeah, so let's start with the Grey Team. They kind of lost in kind of won, so they got a lot of land from the late Grey Team over here. But they didn't officially annex them because they respectfully gained that land and actually kind of fought for it. They gave back this area, but the pink team kind of cut through here. They were forced to give back these brown areas back to the brown team, which I'm just gonna color them brown, even though they're technically the light brown team because the actual brown team got completely erased. But more contrast. Dark brown team area kind of got more land from the brown team, and there's a new gray breakaway state here. Then we got the yellow team also getting more land. The green team, and the green team getting some area cut off here. Do actually pretty big roast team, and a new really small yellow team. So yeah, yellow team not looking good. Now we got this new kind of gray-blue breakaway state. Then we also got blue team directly expanding instead of making a new country because, last time it didn't really work because reintegration. Dark red team took some area here. Lavender team actually got reset back to old borders because, didn't really find it respectable. And also, of course, sanctions were made because, trade sanctions. They, not gonna let this, and so they're basically mainly for orange team and stuff, and also the green team, they get 50% of the taxes, which also in turn makes them lower. They wouldn't lower. They would raise the taxes even more, which kind of makes trade worse. But they need that money, so yeah, kind of made a bad spiral there. Because they need the money, but they're making more taxes to get more money, and then less trade is happening, so that's kind of hurting them in a way. But yeah, all that war, and honestly, in the end, a lot of nations lost on the Hexagon team, but the Grey Team, actually, I feel like it's kind of doing better, other than minor economic sanctions that I'm sure would be placed. But Dark Grey Team's still looking really strong. So the war did not actually change much, but there's still a lot of new changes, and that will probably be all for today's video, and goodbye, my cabbages.